Howdy team, welcome to the first episode of the Lost Sailing Adventures. My name's Kiki.
And I'm Brian.
And we're out here at the moment at the beautiful Gaia River Lodge Resort in Belize, right across the border from Guatemala.
It is gorgeous. We're not honeymooning, and we're gonna get to why we're here in a minute, but we thought just for this first video, we're gonna give you guys an intro to who we are, our story, why we're here in Belize, and what we're about to do and what brought us here ultimately. So we're about to start a big sailing adventure, and yeah, this is kind of where everything is actually starting for us both together. We've both been sailing in the past. I've been sailing for 8 years. Kiki's been sailing for a few years, and now we've decided to sell all of our crap and kind of join forces for some bigger trips, and bring some more people on board for bigger adventures. So keep listening. It's interesting, and once we get through this, the next is just going to be pure adventure. So hang in there. All right, so my story just summed up real quick. I ended up buying a boat back in late 2012, early 2013, and got this thing, and my buddy Brian, he came down with me, and the whole plan for this adventure was to go from Corpus Christi, Texas, where I was buying it, to the Caribbean. And upon getting back to Florida, I was just going to list this thing for sale. It was going to be like a 6-month trip. It was supposed to be super fast, and we had taken an intro to sailing course, didn't finish it, but we somehow had the confidence to take off. We thought we were ready, and come to find out we were absolutely not. And so we ran into all sorts of problems that got us stuck in Panama City Beach for a while, and it was a rough bit for a little while, but we did eventually make it to the Caribbean, and somewhere on that journey just fell in love with the traveling to new places, the meeting new people, and just this way of life that I didn't really know existed until I threw myself into it. You know, this was kind of before there were video blogs on it. There were some blogs that I was following from people who had like retired and bought a boat, and that was their whole retirement plan, was to take off to the islands and just kind of disappear. And that is what got me into it initially. Just that romantic thought of taking off and not really having a care in the world. And so that's what I did, and yeah, it eventually ended up with me spending most of my winters in the Bahamas and spending summers in an RV. And now that I've sold everything to kind of join forces with Keek, we're planning on just, you know, amping up the adventure a little bit, taking some bigger trips, and yeah, we're both really stoked.
Hey everybody, so my story is a little bit different than Brian's. I actually started sailing really probably about 3 years ago. When I had met Brian in the Bahamas, I had maybe been sailing 2 times in my life. Been on a Hobie Cat and maybe a little Sunfish or something, but I knew literally nothing about sailing at all. So when I went over there, I met him actually at my dad's second wedding, and we went island hopping for his honeymoon, and got to know Brian. He told me a lot about what he did, and kind of segued me into living that same lifestyle. And the idea had always appealed to me, but I didn't know anything about it. So I started up an online store so I could work remote, and after that we started traveling. That's when I hopped on the RV with him, cruised around for a while, and then in the beginning of 2019 I bought my first boat, and I had that for 10 months before that sank in Hurricane Dorian. So it was a really fun, maybe 6 months I was actually on the boat, but after that I was hooked. Even though it was brutal, boat sank, ended up having to move to Florida, and luckily got a job with an awesome company there, but living that life again after living such an adventurous one is really tough. So 2020 for me, let alone the COVID situation, was pretty brutal. So luckily, online business started doing well, and Brian and I linked back up, and we decided it was time to start the real adventure we had always wanted to do. And now we can, and here we are.
Oh yeah, brother.
So now to how we got to Belize. This whole adventure, if you want to call it that, for looking for a boat, has been quite the process. We have been looking for, I don't know, maybe 6 months or so at least, just looking at random boats and kind of getting the idea going. But I don't know, I guess maybe the last 3.
At least 3 we were making offers on boats and really serious about it. We almost bought several boats. Yeah, like I said, we've realistically made offers on boats on every continent almost.
Yeah. So for the last 3 months probably we were looking at one in French Polynesia. We've been looking at them. Saw one in Italy. Obviously the States, the prices in the States are just astronomically higher than elsewhere. But the main problem we've had is COVID. Yeah.
As one would think, but you can take that 2 different ways. We were thinking initially that you were going to be able to get hot deals on any boat outside of the country, right? It's got to be tough for people to leave their country, get into another, deal with, you know, all of the paperwork and the customs, you know, bit that you don't really know how to navigate. But that's not the case. I mean, every boat that went up for sale, I mean, it would sell within like a few weeks. That's how it seemed, at least. Or it would just go pending and then pop back up later. But
yeah, so I mean, even that stuff aside too, is you got then insurance, and you've got you know, getting somebody in there to survey the boat. That was a serious problem.
Yeah, an expensive one.
An expensive problem. Yeah.
You got to fly them in, pay them $800 a day. You know, on top of inflated survey costs. You know, where a survey in the States would cost you, you know, maybe $2,000. If you're trying to have one done outside of the country, it's going to cost you like over $4,000 for sure.
Yeah,
$4,500 to, you know, $7,000.
So we saw some great boats that were in other countries. And we also saw some beaters in other countries, but we ended up lucking out really with the one that we found, and the people that we are getting the boat from are the best. Legendary
owners, the best 2 people you could buy a boat from. They actually want the boat to be in perfect condition before they sell it, which is not common. You know, typically they're hiding issues and, you know, a lot of band-aid fixes that you don't really know. They were just totally transparent with us about everything, and so we know what we're getting into and feeling really good about it.
Super accommodating people too. If you ever come down to Belize Sailing Vacations, check them out. Cliff and Rachel over there are unbelievable.
Also a sailing school, so if you're looking to sail, yeah, they do that on top of their charter business. Yeah, they got a pretty cool thing going there.
Yeah, so that's what we're doing here. And those guys also hooked us up with this awesome location we're at now, which is the Gaia River Lodge Resort. And Nigel over here, the manager, awesome dude. And yeah, so we're hanging out, waiting for paperwork to go through, all that kind of stuff. And hopefully when you see us next, we're actually going to be on the vessel.
Yeah, we'll give you a walkthrough. It's a Leopard 47, a 2004 Leopard 47 catamaran. It's got 4 separate berths. Each berth has its own bathroom, and then the table in the main salon area drops down for another big bed. It's a massive boat compared to what we're used to. We're used to, you know, smaller monohull boats. This is a cruise ship in comparison to what we're used to. But it is epic.
Yeah.
It's a sweet boat. It's got everything that we want, or it has the capability of getting it to be where we want it to be.
So our mission on this thing is basically just going to be trying to get as many like-minded people together as we can. Unfortunately, it is an expensive thing, so we are going to charge something for people to just kind of pay their way, but we want everyone to feel like they're part of the crew and they're part of the adventure.
Yeah, rather than a charter, we're trying to make it where everyone is just pitching in to help fund, you know, their side of the adventure. And, you know, we'll crack a bottle of rum and all decide where we want to go together. You're not on our trip. We're all on a trip together. People are going to be kind of coming and going. And like we said, we've been doing this for a little bit, and we also run a video production company, so we're used to filming and used to putting things together quickly, but we've never really wanted to be the guys who are pulling out a GoPro when you're out at the bar meeting new people. We don't want to be those tchotchkes, so we're gonna try to tone it down. Some things and some moments out here when you're meeting new people and hanging out, it's better just not have a camera rolling. Like,
enjoy the moment, sort of thing.
Right.
So you're not going to see everything, but it'll hopefully give you a really good glimpse at how incredible this lifestyle can be. It can be really scary at some points in time, but all in all, I think it'll be a bit of a trip to watch.
It's going to be cool. And you know, Kiki's already, you know, said that if something is breaking, even if it's a rigging line going down, the whole boat's sinking out there, first thing he's doing is grabbing a camera. And so
we'll see.
This could be a really entertaining bit. So
he was just kidding, Mom and Dad. But yeah, stay tuned. We hope you guys enjoy, and we want to hear what's dumb and what's enjoyable to watch, what you want to see, what you want to know. I mean, we can teach you as much as we do, but
should also mention, we don't actually have our video equipment with us right now to actually properly do this. We don't have our drones, or we don't have our cameras, but things are going to get pretty sweet, we think, by probably the 3rd episode, once we actually give you a good bird's eye view of everything, and yeah, show you how we're living out there. So stay tuned.
See you out there, friends.